What's up, guys? Welcome back to the vlog. Well, today we have a more of a serious video. It's not working out. You can consider this a rest day. And today we're going to be talking about is rest important or you don't need rest days? There's Team No Rest Days. If I say his name, I mean, if you know the top G doesn't believe in rest days. But again, that is his thing. And somehow I also don't believe in rest days, but I know they're important. Well, first of all, a rest day, this is the definition of a rest day. A rest day is a day where there's no completely weight lifting or weight lifting or weight training. You can, any of the two works for definitions. You just be there, wake up, do other things in your normal day, go about how your day moves, but you're not going to train. So the first question is, are rest days important? Well, for muscles to grow and muscles to recover, you need rest days. So 100% agree, rest days are important. So if you train maybe for some good time, if you've been training for some good time, you understand that rest days are really important. So first thing we all have to agree on, I agree on, not all of you, you might be there and you don't agree with me, is rest days are important. So uh, if you've been training maybe 6 days a week or 5 days a week, you can take a rest day and you recover. Let's talk about recovery later. And then the other thing, things to do on your rest days. Um, Sometimes low intensity cardio, I'll take them as, sometimes I do them as steps and not so intense if I decide to have rest days. But if you've been watching from the previous videos, we've barely had something we can proclaim as a pure rest day, because even on the rest days we did some intense cardio, so we've not have had a proclaimed rest day. So I wouldn't claim it like we have had a rest day in the previous 50 days. But things to do on your rest days, you can take walks or steps that are really of low intensity. You can take steps, you can walk on a treadmill, you can go pedal on a bike, something that will not strain you so much. So you have to keep that in mind. Then the other things, you can choose from sauna or steam if there are things that really relax you. But I'm not a sauna person, and I'm not a sauna person, and then I'm not a steam maybe, but then I don't like heat if I'm to call it relaxing. So anything that relaxes you is something you'd opt for on a rest day. So if you like sauna, you can have that. If you like cold baths, cold what is it, ice cold bath, if you like those, you can opt for that. If you like steam, you can opt for that. But then on my rest days, I'd like to get in stretches that really help with mobility. So on rest days, I would like to really improve on mobility, because it's something that's really important when you go back to working out on a rest day. So we've worked for 50 days straight, not a proclaimed rest day. But then, like I said, after 50 days, we're going to change things up a bit. It's going to be the do's and don'ts, some more educative content like this piece. And yeah, that's basically it. And then another thing you can do for rest days is massage. If you're someone who likes massage, there's therapeutic, the kinds of massage, and there are other ones that end with, I won't mention that on camera. But yeah, you can opt for massage if it's something that relaxes you. Massage really relaxes me, and I would opt for that on a rest day. So if you're one of that person, you can opt for that. I mean, you can just go take a massage therapy, relax those muscles, and you're good to go for the next training session. What else should we talk about rest days? The other thing is how to time your rest days. Uh, let's say if you work for a split of 5 days, you can take rest days in the on the last 2 days. That's a Saturday and Sunday. If that allows you to have a rest day, it's really not mandatory that you're supposed to take them on weekends, but it's time where most times you want to take the rest days. So you can opt for that. Saturday or Sunday, rest day, and then you resume for 1, 2, 3, 4, up to 5 days uh, working out. The other day, you can do rest days. Let's say your big workout days. If you like legs or you train legs twice in a week, you can say I rest on Monday, then train legs on Tuesday, and do the other workouts within the middays, and then have your next rest day before your next heavy leg session. Same applies to when you train back. You can maybe say I train back on a Tuesday. You can have a rest day on a Monday, and then have your heavy training, and then followed by the other days of training. Then you rest Friday and train back again on a Saturday. So you can have a rest day as well on days you you're going for your next heavy training sessions or your favorite days. I can call them that. Or heavy days. That's when you can have rest days. And then the other thing during rest days you can do is recovery training. Um, Recovery training can be deloading as well. So this is how we'll go about it. On recovery training, let's say you squat like 300 lbs, or let's say 225 or 264. Recovery training is where you cut the weight. Anyway, I don't understand lbs that much, but let's talk in kgs. If you bench press like 200, depending on whatever you're training for, bodybuilding, powerlifting, or strongman, you can rest. You can deload or split the weight into half. If you've been benching 100, you can go all the way to 50. If you've been benching 200, you can cut back the weight to 100. If you've been squatting, the same way, you split the weight into twice. That way, you reduce the weight and also reduce the reps you're going to be doing. You split them into half. You say 100. If I've been doing 15 reps, I'm going to be doing 7.5 or 7 reps with the 50. And that way, it allows you to move really well, and it speeds up recovery rather than pushing all the way. Maybe if you don't like completely resting, you can do recovery training where you deload. Uh, you can use that term as well, or split the weight into a half when you're training. So it's something you can opt for if you don't want, if your team, no rest days, but I'm not team no rest days. So that's something you can look at during your rest days. Lastly, let's talk about dieting. On rest days, if you're maybe training for bulk, if you're on a bulk, or you're on a cut, I'll call that, or you're on a weight loss, for easier, for an easier word. Let's start with on a bulk. On a bulk, you also don't need to cut your calories. You have to maintain your calories even when it's a rest day, so that you have enough energy to recover all through. You have your protein, you have your calories, same way. You still have the energy so that when you resume, you go all the way to full energy. You have enough energy to push up heavy and stronger again. Then if you're in a cut, it doesn't mean you eat whatever you find around. You have to keep the discipline. If you've been on a certain amount of calories, keep them as well. Don't go overboard. Keep them maintained. Eat right. Uh, rest enough. I didn't talk about resting on recovery days, but resting is really important. Sleep enough. Get in at least 8 hours of sleep, and then you can do the other things in a day. So that's basically it. If you decide to please your boss will be happy with you. And if you decide to sleep, have enough rest, the landlord will also be happy with you. That's basically it. So keep rest days really in and important, and do the do's and don't do the don'ts of recovery days. But all in all, um, recovery is important. You need to get back to lifting stronger, not fatigued, uh, for you to have the most gains. And then, how to know, lastly, how to know when to take a recovery or a rest day is when you feel you're fatigued. You can be mentally fatigued and then physically fatigued. We've worked out for 50 days straight, not a pronounced rest day. And then from 50 days, we have been feeling a little bit fatigued. So not carrying more heavy weights. We try to deload in there if you've been watching, or we try to cut the split. We try to split the weight for that recovery training. And yeah, it went on well. But then it hasn't worked out for pretty the previous 5 days. It's been a struggle working out. The fatigue is in there. So this day is what is a pronounced rest day, I could call. So as a gym trainer, maybe I'd count the steps I walk while training people. So, but I didn't do anything else. I didn't lift anything. I didn't do any kind of training. I'll just go back home and rest. But other things within the day went on pretty much as they're supposed to be. So that's maybe a rest day. Other than that, that's pretty much I could say about rest days and recovery. I decided not to use so much hard terms for everyone to keep in the know. When people use so much scientific terms, sometimes people get confused. So keeping it flat for everyone to get at least something, and then understand why they need to rest. That when you rest, you come back stronger on the next days you're working out. So that's pretty much it. All right, guys. Peace out. Love you all. Next time, take your rest days serious. All right. I sign out. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and comment.